everybody, and welcome back to the Deep Threats Podcast. We are live. It is week 6 of the NFL season. I am pumped. I am ready. And as always, I'm here for the Browns fans. But before we get into anything today, as always, you have me, your host of the show, KJAM, and you have my wonderful co-host, Wheels.
We have another early game, ladies and gentlemen. What is this, the third week for London?
Yeah,
I love waking up and watching football. It's so nice.
I have friends on the West Coast who's like, I'm so sick of waking up at 6 a.m.
I mean, you don't have football.
To. I mean, you might have to if it's one of your teams, but it's not. Actually, it's all East Coast teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's been all East Coast teams that have played over there.
There hasn't been a West Coast team that has played this year in London.
It was obviously Jacksonville twice.
Jacksonville, Bills, Jacksonville, Atlanta, and now
Atlanta would have been.
No, Atlanta's Georgia.
But it is it's an NFC team though. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is still it's still an East Coast time. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
He's not too good at geography.
Hey, that wasn't what I was trying to do. That wasn't what I was trying to do here. Okay. All right. The hat's killing me. I can't do the hat for some reason. Can I do it backwards? Does it work?
No, you look like a douchebag with it backwards. I'm not gonna lie.
I look like a military. All right, actually, it's a good November hat. It's a little early for this hat. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, though. Hey, yep. Whatever, show off. I don't have the Breast Cancer Awareness hat. This is actually my wife's.
Yeah, this isn't an LGBTQ plus YZ one. It's a.
It looks like you just washed it.
Catch
Tie dye.
I know. That's why I like it.
All right.
This is actually last year's one. This year's one is terrible.
Well, I'm gonna get into the news because we were just talking about this prior to the show. Has anybody seen the McAfee show with Aaron Rodgers calling out Travis Kelce? Because this shit is hilarious. Travis Kelce just said,
Mr. Pfizer.
Oh no, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Pfizer. Yes, Mr. Pfizer. Mr. Johnson & Johnson
Let's see, Aaron
has
Rodgers.
just offered RFK and Rogers to do a debate with Kelsey and Fauci or whoever else Kelsey wants on for vaccines.
I mean, that would
Hilarious.
Be smart. That would be a very smart move just for money and views for ESPN, and if
I'm telling
ESPN
you.
allows it, which is even crazier because it's owned by Disney, but I doubt they'll allow it.
Oh, I just want to see it.
But they brought
Just wanna see
McAfee in. They pretty much bought, here's money. We're just going to buy your views and put it on ESPN.
I just want to see it, man.
Did you see
That Aaron Rodgers gets paid every time he steps on McAfee's show. I
there was
believe
actually
that, though.
two things I wanted. I like Pat McAfee a
I
lot.
believe that, though.
He actually, he pulled a kid from the Washington, I don't know if it was the student section or what, to kick a field goal. He missed the first one for $60K. McAfee offered him $30,000 to get a second chance, and he made the field goal. So that kid just got $30,000 cheaper.
Man,
Or
that's
$30,000
30 grand more.
Works
An extra 30 grand.
richer.
essentially, yeah.
I can't talk today.
That's pretty cool.
And then we had some college games yesterday. I know the big game I watched, there was two, was the Washington-Oregon game. And I'm a huge Bo Nix fan. I wasn't really huge going in that game with Michael Penix. So I was keeping an eye on Michael Penix, and I like that kid a lot. I mean, he's not afraid to stay in the pocket and just sling the
Here
ball.
wheels
He'll
go,
take the
taking
hit.
my people again.
You and my brother Blake are huge on this kid, and I did not like him when he was at what, Illinois?
I don't know. He's been everywhere.
No, it was Indiana. He was with Indiana in the
Michael
Big Ten.
Michael Penix has literally been everywhere. I don't know. I think this is his fourth team he's been.
Yeah, and I mean, he looks good. I mean, he's gonna be. I have him as a top. I mean, it's hard because I'm not sure what teams really need quarterbacks right now, but I'll put him at top 10. And Bo Nix, he's kind of treading water. He's in the same area he would have been before the game. He looked really good against that Washington defense. That secondary is pretty solid. I think I don't know if they're top in the nation, but I know they're up there. And then a guy who looked really bad yesterday, who has been talking quite a lot,
Did Notre Dame win that game?
they smoked him. Caleb Williams, 199 yards, 1 touchdown,
Guys, step off Caleb Williams,
3
man.
interception.
I like the kid. Think he's talented.
He talks too much.
A lot of hype, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the last tweet, and I don't know if this is
Last
from
2
him,
tweets.
but he said that whatever team takes him, he wants stake in that team or ownership in that team, and that is an insane request from a kid. You know what? At this point, I don't even want this guy in the league just because it's going to be too much absurdity.
So, a lot of people aren't going to like this, but so when you're a rookie and you're getting drafted and you come into the league, I want you to be, hyperbolic. I want you to be quiet. Not quiet to where you just don't say anything, but, you're not loud and you don't bring extra scrutiny to your franchise. We saw that with some quarterbacks over the last couple of years that has not been good. Some of them are on different teams. Some of them are no longer in the league. But as you see with like a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes before he hit big, they were all quiet guys. They weren't out there just talking.
I think they're still quiet.
Talking.
I think
they
they're
are,
still
but
quiet.
that's what I'm saying. And then you have these guys that are
Baker,
just,
I mean, look at Baker. Baker
So-
really struggled, and he came on hot.
then that's the thing. So I
Ever
hate,
since he's been quiet.
yeah, I hate using Baker because we're a Browns fan.
But
and
no, ever
that's-
since he's been
yeah.
quiet,
That's what I was going to say.
there's production.
Exactly. And so I hate using Baker because we're a Browns fan, and we try to, sway away
He's
from
not a
the
Browns
homer.
player anymore, though.
But when
he is
was
Tampa
with,
Bay.
Yeah, but when he was
Like,
with the Browns, he was so loud in the locker room. He had a lot of dispute with the coaching staff, with the media, and that was it was very toxic for the entire team. And now, like you said,
Chase Claypool.
yeah, exactly same thing. Chase Claypool.
They're
He's
not
on
using
his
me correctly.
4th team.
All right,
I
then
think
we're
he's on
not
his
going to use
4th
you at
team.
all.
No, 3rd team. Sorry.
Third. We're not going to use you at
But-
all. See ya.
It's just you gotta. These kids, I feel like their heads get swollen in college, and this. I mean, as much as I love the NIL deal for some of these kids, I think a lot of them it's going to ruin their chances in the NFL. I do. I think that the fact they're making money now.
Well, we're not going to get into that, right? But I will. Let me say this one thing about the NIL thing. Maybe it's not about the NFL. Maybe it's about college.
And it definitely
Because
could be.
the NIL, I think, also brings more money into the colleges.
And if you weren't,
So
don't think
maybe it's
colleges
about
weren't paying kids before.
Maybe it's about having college capable of paying players like the NFL and creating a bigger sport out of it.
And you're seeing that now. I mean,
Yeah.
you're seeing a lot of these smaller teams that are just competing week in and week out.
But think about the television time they're getting now, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot flip a channel without seeing college football right now. On
Whether
Saturdays, Fridays, Thursdays.
They have college football
Wednesdays.
Yeah. They have it Wednesdays, they have it Friday nights, they have it Saturday Saturday middays, Saturday nights. It's all over.
There's probably a college football game getting prepared to 10 o'clock right now this morning.
Yeah, it's just I'm waiting
No,
for
there's not. It's
I'm waiting
Sunday.
for college to go.
Sunday.
I'm waiting for college to go to London.
That's enough. All right. Speaking of London, that was the ugliest segue ever.
I was trying to make a
It was pretty ugly.
I was trying to make
You were.
I was hard. That was a hard
Sorry.
segue.
Let's hard segue our butts into London for the 9:30 game this morning. The Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are taking on in London. Home team is the Tennessee Titans, and we have Tannehill, Will Levis. We have Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, who's the backup quarterback at this point, because I think he's thrown more touchdown passes than Ryan Tannehill.
I was right about last week about a certain quarterback getting benched for another quarterback. I think it happens this week.
Wrong.
You don't think it happens in London?
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen against this defense, too. You're not going to. This is the problem with what the Browns did with DTR. You don't put DTR against Roquan Smith. What do you think?
PJ Walker starting. That's who they should have started 2 weeks ago before the
PJ
bye.
Walker should have started over
100%.
over DTR, over 100%.
So I don't.
I told you why they did that,
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah. What's your first impressions of this game? Score wise, let's do score real quick.
You're gonna work this one backwards, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So score wise, if I had to pick a score in this game, Odell is back
for 3 plays.
I'm gonna say Zay Flowers has a good game this game, so I'm going to say it's gonna be close.
I think this is Mark.
It's gonna be under 45.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 21-12 Ravens.
Okay, so we're close. I have 24-14 Ravens, but I think it's a Mark Andrews game, but I think the offense struggles a little bit in the first half and then come out strong in the second. I think they're going to change the game plan because I don't know if they're going to be able to run great on Tennessee.
They'll be able to run on Tennessee mainly because it's the quarterback. It's not going to be the running back.
I should change. Outside of Lamar, they're not going to run well.
Okay. I mean, and Lamar's only run for I think his max running this year is 60 yards in a game.
He's looking better with it, especially behind center. And I love it's
Todd Monken.
So I love we talked about this in the offseason, how they're going to change the game plan, and we both loved it. And I love it. You're not putting your franchise guy that you paid out there
at risk
every play, and just
and there are times where he's pulling up, and I don't think he should.
Yeah,
but I understand it. He cost me money last week.
Yeah,
I needed a Lamar Jackson touchdown.
You need your 3rd and 6, and you need 6 yards. He's going to go out and get it if the progression and the play break.
But I've seen him slide and give up a lot more than what he used to do. Man, he used to just run the ball down their throats. He didn't care if he got hit. But obviously, he's saving himself for 17 weeks. So
and, I love that
and I get it.
For his mentality and for the longevity of his possible career. It's great for him. And with him being paid, maybe he's like, all right, you know what? They paid me. I'm going to do the same for them. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to try to be as cautious as I can when I run the ball in the NFL. And I think that's what he's doing right now, and I love it. So on the Tennessee side of the ball.
You know what's funny?
I think.
Hold on, sorry.
It's gonna be weird.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
So Tennessee has a 54% chance of winning, but Baltimore is being given 5.5. So Baltimore's favored by 5.5. Sorry. Tennessee's given 5.5.
I was about to say if Baltimore is getting 5.5, I'm gonna take Baltimore.
Tell me that's weird.
That makes no
Tennessee's favored to win according to the percentages.
But 5.5.
But the Ravens are minus 5.5. right? So the Ravens they're handicapped. They're giving up
A touchdown.
They're giving up essentially a touchdown to Tennessee.
So I have it at 24-14. I have it at 10. So we're both close with our scores.
Well, mine's weird, right? So 21-12. I'm seeing huge field goals today.
Yeah,
I don't even know if Tennessee won't, I don't think they score a touchdown.
No, I mean,
And it's the Raiders.
14, so.
Yeah, but no, I mean you're fine. But I mean it could happen many ways. It could be a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety. Like there's another way to get 12.
Or 4 field goals and a safety.
No, 4 field goals is 12.
And then the safeties too.
That's 14.
That's what I'm saying.
For yours. Yeah. You're betting on the safety. Also, 2-point conversion though.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they don't score
8 and 6.
Yeah, 8 and 6. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
14.
I'm sorry, I'm not really good at this math stuff. That's why I'm on the show.
Oh God.
But no, so Treylon Burks is out. Hold on, let me pull up the injuries real quick. For the Titans, you have Treylon Burks out with a knee injury. Linebacker Luke Gifford is out, and Elijah Molden, the defensive back, is also out. On the other side of the ball for the Ravens, you have Odafe Away out. He's a linebacker, and so the running back that I know a lot of people are starting, I have him starting. He's questionable still, is Keontae Mitchell.
I thought it was Keaton Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Keaton Mitchell.
Like, you do this to me all the time.
I'm sorry.
Just changing names of players.
Oh, and then Tennessee has 2 questionable guys, Aaron Brewer and Tier Tart. So their center is questionable.
And a D-tackle.
A D-tackle is questionable. They have a linebacker out, a defensive back out, and a wide receiver out. So
just an FYI.
Is this a D-Hop game?
It's a Westbrook-Akine game.
I am happy. Maybe I'll pick him up.
I think D-Hop will do what he did last week because he was getting chemistry with Tannehill.
Yeah.
So I think D-Hop might have another 10 receptions for 114 yards. Yeah. So I definitely think he's going to be picked a lot, picked on a lot. So
we'll talk about some more chemistry that'll come into its own here soon with certain players.
The question is, who's their third receiver? You have
Akine Westbrook.
You have obviously Hop.
Don't they have the white?
I know Chig and Wiley. You have Chigozium and Josh Wiley. Chigozium had 9 targets last week and 5 receptions. So I actually might switch my tight end this week because I have
I would start Chigozium.
I think I have Dalton Schultz going, but I think I might start Chig this week just because of how many targets he's going to get. But I think Wiley might take over Chig's role. I just haven't figured it out yet.
So it's D-Hop, Nicky Akine Westbrook, Chris Moore.
Chris Moore. Chris Moore has the ability to be a standout wide receiver this week, especially against that Ravens secondary.
I mean, through the season, he has 4 receptions, 134 yards.
Yeah, but you remember last year when Ryan called out that Chris Moore game in Houston?
Yeah.
And Chris Moore went off for 146 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. It was insane. And this has that potential here. We've been waiting for Treylon Burks to step off the field all season.
Treylon Burks, ever since, he was good in college, but ever since
he can't stay healthy.
No, he can't stay healthy. He's not a wide receiver one by any means.
Is Skoronski playing this game?
I hate to say this about a kid. He's a fringe wide receiver too right now.
Is Skoronski playing this game?
Yes, Skoronski.
Because he went out last game. That's why I'm asking. I'm not 100% sure. He went out last game, but he might be in.
Yeah, Skoronski's in.
I
He's
see.
Left guard. They can play him at center.
I got Lamar throwing for 220 yards on this defense.
I have Lamar throwing for 220. I have him rushing for 45 and a touchdown.
I can't take him rushing a touchdown after last week.
You have to.
I can't.
They have no running
backs. Piss me off. I get it.
They have running backs. There's just no solid. They have 15.
Well, Gus Edwards is starting.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not out. Yeah, Gus is the starter. And they still have a 400-pound fullback. So if they get close, they could just put in Patrick Ricard and run the ball.
Patrick Ricard is he's a guard, isn't he?
No, he's a fullback. He's a 400-pound fullback.
God, that's insane.
They literally I'm betting on Patrick Ricard to get a touchdown today. I wonder what it's probably plus 600. $1 gets you 6.
Probably that'd be plus 6,000.
No. Yeah, that's 60 cents, isn't it? No, plus 600 is $1 gets 6.
Yeah, but you said plus a dollar get pays out 600. So
No,
six.
No, I said it's plus 600.
Oh, so you
a dollar
pay
pays you 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what do you see Tannehill doing?
Not a lot.
Is he startable? If you're in
No.
fantasy?
No. So with these,
I
London,
agree.
With these London games, there has always been one quarterback that has not played well. T-Law, I think, had like 15 last week.
No, T-Law had a good week last week. It was the week before
Okay. But Desmond Ridder had the good week.
But T-Law,
Allen had the good week.
T-Law won both games, so he won both games. He's undefeated in London this year. It's home field. Just saying. All right, Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears are going to split carries again.
Tajay is ramping up. I think if they lose this game, I think people are going to call for Derrick Henry might get traded. It's not going to happen.
That's
not going to happen.
They're not going to trade.
They're not going to get the value.
I don't know if Derrick Henry wants to go anywhere. He might say, "Hey, just leave me here."
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's always those swirlings after they start 2-4. They need to get rid of Henry and prepare. For
You know what's funny though? So trade blocks this week. I saw Dalvin Cook, which we talked about a little bit.
Yeah, he has no value. He didn't have a value.
But the question is, should the Browns go after one of these stud guys who are older, and you know that he can end his career here
Fournette
as a backup with
I know Fournette doesn't want to
Nick
play football
Chubb,
anymore.
I don't think he does.
I would go after Fournette over anybody.
But I'm just saying, so these guys are all very good backs, and if you have a good, which that's the Browns' issue this year is the offensive line. So
I mean,
but Derrick Henry, I don't think you have to trade him, like you said.
No, they're not going to. They're not going to trade him. But the Browns should probably trade for another guy because Jerome Ford is not it.
Plus, this offense
is not what he was 3 years ago.
The Tennessee Titans offense goes through the run game.
Yeah, it's like Saquon.
Yeah. So I think that I actually love what Tennessee's doing. They're keeping Derrick Henry healthy, and they're keeping Tajay on the field, and they're splitting the carries, and I love it. I really do.
Fantasy managers are mad, but guess what? They don't give a crap about fantasy. They don't. They don't care.
I'm not mad. I have a Tajay Spears owner. I'm a Tajay Spears owner.
Draft, so I'm fine with it.
He's putting up 12 to 15 a week. I'm loving it.
I don't know the contract when it expires or when it ends for Derrick Henry, but I don't think he's going to sign another one in Tennessee. And that's nothing against him or the franchise at all, but the franchise is going to be going into a rebuild in the next 2 years. Minimum. Maybe next year. I don't have a lot of faith in Will Levis at all.
This is last year under contract.
So, yeah, he's not coming back. That's why they drafted Tajay high. Ryan Tannehill will be gone. He's not going to stay in Tennessee. They're not going to re-sign the guy. He'll be gone. This is his last year, I believe, too. So that's why they drafted Levis, just to experiment with him in the second round. But the question is, if they have an early draft pick, do you draft another quarterback, even though you wasted a second round pick last year on Levis?
They've wasted they wasted a fourth round on Malik Wallace.
Malik Wilson or
Wallace. They now have wasted the first pick in the second pick in the second round,
which is essentially a first round pick.
No, first pick they were the second pick in the second round, so they're technically the first pick.
Yeah.
I was doing the math already, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, because we got to remember
the 33rd overall pick.
Yeah, the Dolphins didn't have a first round pick last year.
Yeah, was Will Levis. And they traded for it.
Yeah,
they traded up to get that pick.
So, but the thing is, let's say you have a top 8 pick, and Caleb's there. You got Bo Nix. You got Michael Penix Jr. You have Drake May.
I think that if you do anything, you have to get a weapon, or you need to get a top tier defensive end.
Marvin Harrison, maybe.
I don't think he'll be there. If you're talking at 8, I don't think he'll be there.
Drafting is about 8.
But again, let's get into this game though. I don't want to get into the offseason this early. We will probably in the next couple weeks because people are already going to the draft, which is driving me insane.
So like I said, I have 24-14 Ravens. I think both teams will struggle in the beginning, but the Ravens will come out and
who are your stardoms in this game?
Stardoms are obviously Lamar, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. I stay away from OBJ. I stay away from Gus Edwards. On the other side of the ball, I start D-Hop and maybe Chikosium. Other than that, I don't. I mean, if you're in like a 14-man league, I'd go pick up
Akine.
I
love Westbrook Akine. Westbrook Akine has actually performed, but granted, this isn't a wide receiver
Chris
offense.
Miller.
Chris Moore.
Or Chris Moore. I would pick up him and start him maybe if you're in a 14-man league. And, you
don't start Derrick Henry?
Not against this team. Look, what did he do against the Browns?
It's not Derrick Henry. Well, technically, he would have thrown.
Defense is good.
Technically, Derrick Henry almost threw another touchdown last week. If they keep using that play, which, by the way,
they should come out and do that first. If
Derrick Henry was intelligent, and I'm not like knocking his intelligence for in general, but if Derrick Henry understood the RPO and they handed him the ball in that situation, he could fake the throw
and run.
It's
like a
because just throwing them off enough, you're not tackling a 6'5", 240-pound Derrick Henry because you're late.
I don't like him in this game against Baltimore. I've been wrong. Maybe you start him, but against the Browns, he didn't do anything. I think his run defense is
I'm in the situation to where I start both these running backs.
Okay.
I'm assuming if you have Derrick Henry, you have a lot of assets in Derrick Henry. So you're a lot you've put a lot into owning Derrick Henry. So I'm assuming you have to start Derrick Henry, but I'm also starting Tajay.
So, but if you're in Dynasty, you need to trade Derrick Henry either before this game, if he pops off, and if he does pop off.
If Derrick Henry pops off this game, this is a sell high point.
Yeah, this is a sell high on Derrick Henry.
But I'm assuming if you're in Dynasty, people are paying attention to a 31-year-old running back.
Yeah.
That being said, I think you're right about the sit-ems and stardoms. I think I'm going to start the Baltimore Ravens defense.
Yep, me too. That's who I have.
Outside of that, I think that's it for this game. But good luck on that London game. It is going live here in the next,
hour and 5
hour-ish. So good luck there. And then we will move on to the first 1 o'clock games, Washington and Atlanta.
This is just so the Falcons, I think Drake London shows back up. I think Drake London's going to have a bigger game, and I think he's going to get more consistent. I think he's starting to build that rapport with Desmond Ridder. I think this team is kind of finding themselves as an offense and as a team. So in Washington's defense, I feel like is kind of reeling from last week. So I don't know if they show up just yet. I like the Falcons a lot in this game. I like the Falcons so much I have them winning by a touchdown. Now, a lot of people may say, oh, that's not much. But when you look at Washington's defense and the Atlanta Falcons offense and how they have both kind of struggled in the last couple of weeks, it doesn't make much sense not to take the Falcons here just because I think Desmond Ridder is going to start popping off at home. He's a lot more comfortable at home. He was always in college, in high school. I think that does progress to the NFL, and I think with this team, my issue is as I sit Kyle Pitts until he shows up and proves it.
Hey, Kyle Pitts showed up last week.
What do you have, like 6?
He was targeted like 8 times. He showed up last week. Don't be knocking Kyle Pitts after last week's game.
Bust.
But here's what I will tell you about that game is that he's starting to throw to his tight ends.
Well, when you have
he's throwing to Jonnu. He's throwing to Jonnu. He's throwing to Kyle Pitts.
Jonnu.
And then didn't they not just trade for Van Jefferson?
Yeah, but he's not going to play this week.
I don't know about that.
Okay,
I think he'll
15 points.
I think he'll see the field this week to take some of the pressure off Drake London.
Okay, 11 targets, 7 receptions, 87 yards.
I like Atlanta in this game.
Me too.
I do.
Start Pitts. I thought he had a worse week. I'm sorry.
The only way Washington can win this game is if Sam Howell doesn't turn the ball over.
Exactly. So it's a take care of the ball Sam Howell game.
I like Brian Robinson in this game, right?
Yes.
Because Atlanta's not the best run defense.
You mean Bijan? Oh, no, Brian. Yeah, my bad. They're both Robinsons. Sorry.
I love when you correct me, but when you're wrong and you correct me, I have an issue.
It's hard. They're both Robinsons.
That's why I said Brian Robinson.
Junior.
I like Brian Robinson in this game because of Washington's ability to run the ball. and Atlanta doesn't have the best rush defense.
No,
now, when it comes to the secondary, right, Sam Howell's going to struggle. C.J. Stroud struggled. And he's the most accurate quarterback out of this last draft class.
Yep.
So here's what I think is going to happen in this game. I think Sam Howell will throw for 250 yards in this game.
Yes.
But he's going to have 2 turnovers.
He's going to have 1 touchdown, 2 turnovers. Yeah.
I think he might have 2 touchdowns.
1 rushing, 1 passing.
I know. I think I'll have 2 passing.
Okay.
One of them might be like a check down to Robinson, and he runs it
in.
But I think he's going to have 2 passing.
Who's your startums for Washington?
Well, Brian Robinson is my stardom.
Okay.
I'm assuming
Scary Terry. You have to start him, right?
I don't like Scary Terry. No, I like him as a wide receiver.
Do you start Curtis?
Scary Terry hasn't caught the ball for over 4 receptions all year, and he hasn't caught it for over 65 yards all year.
Do you start Curtis then? Curtis has been getting some good,
Curtis Samuel is a better stardom than Scary Terry in this game, mainly because of the out of the backfield play that he does and how fast he is.
The jet sweeps and the RPO stuff.
So I would start Curtis Samuel. I'd start Brian Robinson.
Logan Thomas. He's
getting the targets. He has been playing better this year. I just don't know against the Atlanta secondary if I would start him.
Okay.
And then on the flip side of the ball, like you said, I would start Bijan. I'd actually start Tyler Algier in this game also.
Yep.
Because I think they're going to highly be ahead of. I think Atlanta's going to be ahead. So that's why I have Sam Howell for over 250.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta's going to be ahead, stay ahead, and try to run the ball. Drake London, maybe 4 for 80. Maybe. And then the other guys, I don't like anybody else in this game. I mean, as much as if you're starting those tight ends, I think you're going to have to, because tight ends only get like 8 to 12 points. And if you're in a full PPR, both these tight ends can get 8 to 12 points easily.
Drake London.
They're not going to give you, well, I said Drake London 4 for 80. So like Drake London, it's 12 points,
12
maybe one of the touchdowns. So he could have that height of 18 points.
Yeah.
So, and Desmond Ridder is startable. The problem is that they're going to keep the ball on the ground, and most of their touchdowns will probably come through the ground.
Yeah, if you're
not through the air.
If you're in a 10-man league, I wouldn't start Howell right now. I'd see
in this game, I would start Howell over Ridder.
Yes, I would start Howell over Ridder. Yes,
even though Howell was going to have 2 interceptions in my mind, I still think he's going to have more touchdowns and more yards than Ridder. So that's what I have going on in this game.
I like that.
Moving on from this game. Oh, yeah. What's your score?
17-10.
So I was going to say 27.
I have Falcons 17.
18 Falcons.
I always go close.
27-18. What is that? 45? I'm taking the over too, because 42 and a half is what the line's at. And then, by the way, the line's gone down.
Really?
Atlanta by 1.5.
So you tease Atlanta up. Get a field goal out of them. You tease them up 2.5 or 3 points.
He's got to teach me how to bet. I don't know this. I don't get any of this.
So a tease is.
I know what a teasing up
points.
is. You're buying points in your favor, but I don't know how to do any of it.
Quick disclaimer: the problem with a tease, you always want to go half point, because if it's, let's say it's a 2, let's say they're getting 1, you tease up 2 points and they win by a field goal. The push doesn't pay. Pushes,
right.
They don't pay.
So you have to take the half.
You have to buy the half.
So you would have to buy 2 points. So it'd be 3.5.
Exactly. You gotta buy 2, not 1.5. You gotta buy 2. It costs a little bit more, and you're gonna lose a little bit more on the turnaround, but it can definitely pay off if you hit.
All right. We're moving to that next game. Here we go. We have Minnesota at Chicago. This is our thumbnail of the week, which is our not really our game of the week.
Because you're going to have the better draft.
This is our shit show of the week. 2 great offenses going against 2 shitty defenses.
In the rain, in the wind, in the cold. It's gonna be.
Is it still raining, windy, and cold out there in Chicago?
It's going to be a weather game.
All right. So then I take Chicago in this game.
I do too. Do you start Addison? I have to start Addison, so I don't want to say anything. I'll let you.
I think you have to start Addison. You have to start KJ Osborne. You have to start TJ Hockenson. You have to start Kirk Cousins.
You start Addison.
I think if you have all of those. Now, I don't like Kirk in this game just because you just told me it was going to be rainy.
Yep. I'm starting Burrow over Kirk. I have both, luckily.
I'll put the touchdowns in the running backs' hands for Minnesota, and then maybe KJ for 1. So if I had to pick on the flip side of the ball, everybody's out in Chicago's backfield.
Yes.
Everybody. They're
pulling
starting
fans
Deontay.
down.
They're starting Deontay Foreman, and they
pulling
have
fans
some other guy. I think they grabbed a
hold on.
fan out of the fields last week to start to play running back.
Deontay Foreman and hold on.
Because Homer's out, Khalil Herbert's out, Roshan Johnson has not cleared concussion
Darrington
protocol.
Evans.
Oh, they got Darrington Evans. I think that was a rookie.
No, he played for Chicago. Chicago.
Is that what it is?
No, Miami last year, Chicago the year before that, and then 6 games with Tennessee.
All right,
So
never mind.
He's
Different
been
guy.
a practice squad guy.
Yeah, so
There was another Darrington, or I believe
It's
Darrington
gonna-
got drafted.
it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for Chicago's
just-
backfield, but Justin Fields is a running back.
Not the last 2 games.
I have Justin Fields running for probably 80 yards today in the rain.
Yeah. He did well in the run game last year, with the only game they won.
That's disgusting.
Have they won a game since?
This year?
I know
They've won 2.
I know they're 1-4.
They've won. Yeah, they're 1-4. You're right. They lost that last game he played good in.
I'm trying to think.
He beat Denver.
I know, but did they win at home or was that in Denver?
I think that was at home.
Okay, because I was trying to think the last time they won at home. It might have been.
I think that was at home.
Okay.
Actually 0-2 at home. 1-3-1.
Away.
No, that can't be right.
Sorry, we're a little slow today.
I don't know. I mean, Minnesota's favored by a field goal.
I stay away from that game betting wise. I don't touch. I hate weather games for betting. I hate weather games for prop bets. I do not touch them. So I'm not going to have anything on that game, honestly. I just don't like it. No, they won against the Commanders. They lost.
Oh,
against
that's
them.
right. Denver beat them. So
Yeah.
they beat Washington in Washington?
Yep. So they still haven't won at home.
Oh, that's right.
They haven't won at home since I think last year. I think it was the 25th.
I'll take Chicago in this game, though.
I will too. I'll take Chicago by
Chicago
field
has
goal.
nothing to Chicago has nothing to gain by losing or winning here.
Yeah. And
Whereas Minnesota has a lot to gain by losing.
yeah, I traded for JJ. I gave up Amari Cooper and Jacoby Myers.
And obviously JJ's going to be out for 4 weeks.
We're hearing 6 now.
Well, he's on the IR, so it's
Yeah.
going to be minimum 4 weeks, right?
Maximum of 6, yeah. But I
So-
can see 8.
Well, I see if they're out 6 games, and let's just say Minnesota's 2-9.
Yeah. They might sit him the rest of the year.
Oh, so you're saying that actually that would put them at the bye. That's week 11 is the bye, right?
Week 13, so he would be out 8 weeks. They might sit him the whole year. They might go to JJ and be like, hey,
JJ,
you know what?
dude, you were on a record-breaking year.
I know, but you're
No.
let's say you're out 6 weeks. They're gonna come to JJ say, hey, you know what? This year's done. Kirk's coming back next year. Let's figure out his. And
Kirk
yours.
is going to have to get a 3-year contract.
Yeah, we're gonna let's figure out his and yours contract.
So you think Kirk's going to be back next year?
The question,
That was the longest pause
I'm thinking the question is,
ever. I think I broke him.
yeah, the question is if you don't think Kirk is going to be back and you're trying to rebuild, do you trade JJ and have him play? This
No, you
year?
do not rebuild by trading your 25-year-old asset.
Okay, because that's
Not rebuilding.
That's what everybody's saying. They're going to get rid of Kirk. They're going to get rid of JJ. We already had reports that JJ wants to stay with Kirk,
And I
vice
don't know how
versa.
true that is, but and especially
They're
with
not denying
with
them.
the reports we've seen with the Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor, I don't
was
know
all
how
media.
true that is.
That was all media. But,
Yeah,
you called that from weeks back. You called that from earlier this year.
I get
So,
it, but like I don't know how true it is with the JJ thing too,
the
though.
whole media thing is just unless it's coming from the coach, the GM, the player, the quarterback, you don't believe it. The media has been like this for years. We saw it with the whole situation.
And
with,
JJ's tweets, he's been having like Instagram. People had that fake Instagram account that was saying things for JJ. So I don't know how much of this is 100% accurate.
And JJ's been quiet about the whole situation. So
Yeah.
something might be going on. Maybe they're working on contracts for both these guys. They should, because I think Kirk excels with the Vikings. I don't know wherever he
They
goes.
traded their entire defense. Like none of this is. And
No,
Ryan
this is
Ryan
not-
Ryan
They
talks.
got rid of Dalvin Cook too, and they have no
Ryan
running
talks
game.
about this
I mean,
all the
Madison's
time.
good,
He's
but-
like, but if you're going to rebuild a franchise, you need to get a quarterback. And it's like, I understand that, but why can't you rebuild the team and then put a quarterback in place 2-3 years down the road?
that's what we wanted that's what I wanted Houston to do because I didn't think they were going to be able to get CJ because I thought the Panthers were taking CJ, so I wanted them to go defense in this draft. They got CJ, so
They got
I love
both.
that.
They got both guys.
Yeah,
We
they
said
did.
they did.
Yeah. So
It was funny because I was like, I hope Houston gets CJ and Will Anderson if possible.
if I'm Chicago and you lose this game, you throw it the rest of the year. Screw it. You know what? We're going to get the first pick, most likely from Carolina, and we'll have the second pick. You go defense. You trade down. You trade that first pick down to somebody who needs a quarterback, and you do what you did against
All right.
Carolina last year. You're just going to rebuild that defense.
So on Chicago's side of the ball, do we start DJ Moore again?
Yes.
Okay, we start
Even
DJ
in that
Moore.
rain, I start DJ Moore.
Do you start Marvin Mims Jr.? No, that's wrong team.
No, that's Denver. Yeah.
Denzel Mims? Don't they have Mims? They have a second Mims? Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
No. I started Cole Kmet over Darnell Mooney. Cole Kmet has been pretty consistent, and
The
he
last
was
2 weeks.
So last year, if you look, I think it was about week 7 that Kmet started popping off, and he finished the year strong. I think this is going to be the same thing as last year.
Okay. So we like Cole Kmet. Well, I'm not going to say we.
I like.
He likes Cole Kmet. I
I
like
stay-
DJ Moore. I like Justin Fields.
I stay away from the running backs altogether.
I like Justin Fields in this game.
Well, he's not.
And Deontay Foreman, I think you kind of have to start him if you have him.
He used to be on
Carolina.
Carolina. He had a
He
good
played
year.
very well
Yeah,
last
so
year.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he became the 4th guy on this depth chart.
Yeah, so just real quick, I drafted Khalil Herbert. I picked up Roshan. I think Chicago has an identity crisis right now in the
At
backfield.
running back?
They don't know who to start. And you know what? This might be
Well,
you know what?
nobody.
Let's pick a Foreman.
They're injured.
But let's say Foreman, let's say he balls out. Well, Herbert's out for 4 weeks. Roshan's your rookie. He's in concussion protocol. You don't have a lot to
And
lose with him.
To be honest, with Roshan, I said Roshan was a guy that he has the ability to take the backfield, but he's a 3rd and 4th down specialist. You can still put Roshan in that backfield with Deontay,
Yeah,
who's a 1 to 3 down back.
100%.
And I think that's a good balance. I even thought Khalil Herbert and Roshan working that way was a good balance. Travis Homer was there just to be a backup. Travis Homer was not supposed to be a starter.
No.
So, but in this game, I got Chicago winning this game. I'm going to say high scoring, and I know that seems a little weird, but
The weather's just, I have it 17.
I'm going to say 28-27 Chicago.
Okay. So you're going with the line just about.
Is that the line? Was it
The
1.5?
line's 3.5, I think.
It's 3. So either way, I'm taking Chicago.
Parlays do push if you take the point line, by the way. So don't worry about buying half a point.
He makes way more money in betting than me.
I wish I made this much of shit.
Like, I can't even talk about it. That's what I got. 28-27 Chicago. And I might mark down who I'm actually picking to win this week because I'm going to keep track of it.
Yeah, we got to, you know what? That's a good idea. We need to start.
We need a notepad.
We definitely do. We need to start
All right.
keeping track.
Who do you got in score?
17-10 Chicago.
7. You got really low scoring. Okay. I took the over. You took way under.
I have unders in all 3 games, I think.
All right. So moving on. Seattle, Cincinnati. Is it supposed to be rainy? Because I think
Well, it's raining here, so I'm guessing it's raining in Cincinnati. I know there.
that storm's north. It's not south.
Is it north? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's raining in Cincinnati.
Let me check Weather Channel.
Checking the weather.
Feel like
All right. But before he gets into that, I will say Cincinnati is favored by only 2.5. The over/under is 45,
58, partly sunny.
and
So
it is
weather
a
will not be
beautiful day.
factor. And you know what?
So, do you start DK Metcalf?
Yeah, I think this is a DK and a.
I benched Amari Cooper today.
I did too. Well, I traded Amari.
I started
so
Mike
should say.
Evans over Amari Cooper.
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm so salty. I traded a first for both of those guys. So I'm like, I want to start them both.
I think this is a JSN show-up game.
Ryan,
I think this is a JSN
are
show-up
you
game.
listening? Because I disagree.
Okay.
Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Zach Charbonnet. I think they will get a couple looks for JSN as always underneath. He gets about 2 to 3 targets underneath. But my issue with Seattle is they run 3 tight ends.
Yes.
And they run a lot of 2 tight end sets. So JSN doesn't always see the field.
No, but I don't. So I know I said I think it's a JSN game, but I like that the fact they're not throwing this kid out there a lot. because you have depth at wide receiver right now, so they're looking in the future. Maybe they're not able to re-sign DK, or maybe they.
I think they just re-signed DK. I think the Lockett thing is your issue.
He's older. He's not. I mean, I'm not saying he's not productive. He's always been a very productive receiver for that team, 100%. A lot of these teams draft.
Yeah, they have an out
before they need to.
The out for DK is 2025.
Okay,
so they have DK for at least 2 more years.
And Lockett, they probably.
Dude,
what?
DK's making $24.5 million next year. That's his cap hit.
They're gonna restructure. They got to restructure that.
So they might extend him for.
Oh, buddy, they're like 3 years.
Wow, he's making $29.5 2025.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna keep him at $30 million for a wide receiver. He's not producing $30 million numbers right now.
He's consistent. You're looking at 6 receptions, 80 yards consistently.
I know, but that's like JJ money right there. Is 30 mil.
It's not his fault they don't use him like that. It's not his fault they have Geno Smith and not Kirk Cousins.
Geno Smith is the issue.
Right, but they're winning games, right? You're 3-1.
Yeah, you have your defense is very good right now. They're running.
Is this an offensive battle?
I think this is another Jamar, Burrow, and Mixon game, where they're going to be like, you know what? They've hated on us. It's time for us to show them.
I bet you the over/under in this game is like 52.
I'm going to say 48.5.
44.5.
So take the over, I guess. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, holy cow.
Oh, my God.
I'm pretty sure last time I checked, Seattle's defense was 21st in points allowed. They're not good. And Cincy, they're losing small margins at the beginning of the year. T is also back in this game from what I've heard. T is going to be playing today.
Yep.
So I don't know how much he's on the field, especially since what we saw with the wide receiver carousel last week. I would assume that you have a lot of Trent Irwin placed out there, a lot of Tyler Boyd placed out there, and then maybe T. Higgins in that same mix of receivers. I think you have to have T. Higgins on the field if you're Cincinnati and you want to win this game, because obviously if you look at the film last year, people know how to cover Jamar Chase if need be.
Yeah.
So
you have Devon Witherspoon. You have Devin Witherspoon.
They have very good secondary.
They have the guy they took last year, too.
Tyreek Woolen. So they have good secondary, but their problem is the linebacker and... It's getting to the quarterback.
They don't have a pass rush.
Yeah. And that's not good against Joe Burrow. You have to be in his face. You got to throw blitzes.
Coming off an injury, who's maybe not going to get hit a lot.
I don't know about that. I think that
you think it's mixing?
Just a thought process. I think that what Seattle will attempt to do is throw a few corner blitzes in there to try to put him on his heels.
Is Irv playing?
I think Irv is active this game.
Okay. Do you like Irv this game? I could see.
I like Irv Smith every game because of his potential. The problem is he's off in 3 plays, and it's driving me insane because I actually do like Irv Smith. They signed him to a 3-year contract.
Yeah, they didn't. He was injured all the time in Minnesota. That's why they traded for TJ.
I don't think he's on the injury report. He's not on the injury report. Yeah, he's not on. T. Higgins is probable. Awuzie, their cornerback is questionable for Cincy. I think that's it. DK probable, ribs. Charles Cross probable. That's their center. Jaron Reed, defensive end, probable. Geno Smith, probable. Now, Geno Smith is dealing with that knee injury, too.
Yeah, so he's not going to be
scrambling
or moving a lot. So you're going to see more of those 2 tight end sets because of the extra protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got to keep Hendrickson off him.
You could also see a gun formation, too.
Yeah, did they actually run sets with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker a bunch?
That's the gun formation, right?
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
So I could definitely see that where the checkdowns where maybe, they go up and get 5-6 yards, maybe some screens early on, depending to see where, his injury's at. I don't know how severe that is, but as we see, knee injuries can become very bad, very fast with these quarterbacks in the NFL because with the way they're getting hit, it's no telling what farther injuries can happen.
That's really it, man. Draymond Jones has to show up in this game.
This game just is. It's not.
Draymond Jones has to show up
exciting.
in this game. He's got to get to Burrow. He's got to get to Burrow.
Yeah.
That's the only. I'm going to watch this game because I have a lot of assets in these
Me too.
2 games. This is a huge fantasy. I mean, I'm starting DK. I would start. Well, I'm not starting DK. I just said I benched him, but I have better receivers. I would start DK. I would start Tyler Lockett. I would start. You possibly could start Disley or Fant because they've been getting targeted. I would probably say Fant over Disley.
I would say Fant.
Yeah, I'm starting Kenneth Walker, obviously.
Charbonnet. Obviously.
I think Geno Smith is playable since the weather's good.
Yeah.
I think Geno Smith is playable. You're obviously going to start Joe Burrow. You're obviously going to start Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon, I don't disagree with you. Like, Joe Mixon has the potential of 45 fantasy points in a game.
Yeah, they need to utilize.
But he's got the floor of 10.
Yeah, they need to utilize the check down.
Yeah. I'm
taking Cincinnati by 10.
Is that the Browns fan in us?
No, that's not the Browns fan. I just think that Cincinnati showed up last week and they're going to continue it this week.
Oh, you said Cincinnati. I'm going to take Seattle.
Okay.
I like Seattle, and I like what they've been doing, and I like the points they're putting out there.
So
and Seattle put up 35 points on some pretty decent defenses.
This is a high game for me.
So I'm going to say...
I'm going to say like 30 to...
I'm going to say...
20? This is a weird... This is just a... I don't know how to score this. Like 34
I'm going to say 31 to 28 Seattle.
34-27.
This one's going to be rough, man. This
is going to be
honestly, this is one of those games I don't know if I'd bet on because they're both offensively very stout teams.
Yeah, and they're
and it depends on which defense shows up. And they both have decent defenses.
And it's kind of the opposite. The
Seattle has the secondary, and Cincy has the front.
Exactly.
Yep, I agree.
So that's
I agree.
where, they're opposite with the area. This may be a Jamar Chase 10 game. He only gets 10 points.
All right, moving on here. We are going to go to a defensive battle with a high offensive upside for both of these teams. You have the Saints going into Houston, playing the Houston Texans. Derek Carr versus CJ Stroud.
This was almost my game of the week.
We will have a fun watch on this game, I'm assuming.
Yes. Tank Dell is out with a concussion, so it's going to be...
Is he officially out today?
It's going to be... Yep. It's going to be Nico Collins.
I need to start Dalton
John
Schultz.
Mechie.
I need to start
Dalton Schultz.
No, Allen Robinson.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods. I do that every time. I like Robert Woods. I like Dalton Schultz. I don't like Nico.
Okay.
And there's a reason I don't like Nico is because of the number 1 corner that he's going up against.
You don't think Woods is going to go up against number 1 quarter?
Mm-mm. Okay. Not the way. Did you see what happened last week? Like, Nico was unseen almost all week.
Yeah.
Or all game. So I think that Nico gets stuck against the number 1 corner. I think Robert Woods has more receptions for less yardage. I love Dalton Schultz in the end zone because CJ Stroud and Dalton Schultz have a very good connection.
He loves his tight ends.
I like Derek Carr in this game. I like
Kamara.
Michael Thomas. Short passes. I like Olave in this game because based on what we said last week, that the downfield wouldn't be there. The downfield was there, and he showed that he could still throw the ball to Olave. So I like Olave in this game. Obviously, I like Kamara. Like, obviously. And Kendra Miller has actually been on the field, and he's been producing too, which is weird. I don't like Kendra Miller in this game.
No.
I do think that Will Anderson will get to Derek Carr at least once. At least once. Yeah. So I don't know if I'd start Derek Carr in this game, just because I think he's going to probably get sacked two to 4 times.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have 1 interception, and I think that most of your touchdowns are going to come through the ground on that team. It might be Taysom Hill and then Kamara. So
Taysom Hill just hasn't done anything this year.
No, but I watched how they used him last week, and I can see that happening. A lot of
money and they're not doing anything.
I can see that happening again this week.
Yeah.
So I like the touchdowns on the ground. If I had to pick a winner in this game, I hate to say it,
Lamar Jackson has 11 giveaways in the 4th quarter, most in the NFL.
I hate to say it. If I had to pick a winner in this game, it's going to be the Saints. It's going to be 18 to 15 Saints.
Okay, so you have I like that low scoring. I have Houston though. I like Houston by a touchdown. I think Nico's going to have 5 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz will have a touchdown, and C.J. Stroud will have a rushing touchdown. I don't like Dameon Pierce in this game. Dameon Pierce has not been what he was last year.
Whoa. Dameon Pierce is exactly who he was. They just don't use him in the past.
He's not getting the yards after contact. That's where his yards after contact from last year this year are down drastically.
I would agree with that.
I think it's not him. I think it's the offensive line more.
Yeah, I mean
and how C.J. Stroud has been playing, because you got to remember he played with Davis Mill. Davis Mill was not a good passer downfield, so they
were coming hard too at him.
Yeah,
it left bigger holes.
Exactly. So now they're scheming to they want to try to get the short passes for Stroud and still rush in there to stop Dameon Pierce or Stroud from moving the ball.
I can see a touchdown by Pierce.
It's going to be red zone. It's not going to be a long run.
To be honest with you,
I have him maybe rushing 63 yards.
Like I said, I like Dalton Schultz and Robert Woods in this game.
I like Nico.
You like Nico
I like Nico over Woods, but I like Schultz all game. I think Schultz is that veteran that, has taken Stroud under his wing.
Great chemistry with Stroud, though.
And I think that's where when Stroud is in trouble and Schultz it gets near Schultz is going to catch it. If
you guys think we're crazy for talking as much as we do about this game, it's because, one, I'm a huge Derek Carr fan.
Yeah.
And then huge CJ Stroud fan. So I want to see success for both of these teams.
Yeah.
So to be honest, the best thing that could happen for me is a tie.
And I love that. I hope Derek Carr keeps balling out, because the Raiders just.
Plus, I want to see the Raiders. No, I agree. I want to see the Raiders take it in their face.
Yeah.
I hope Derek Carr makes the playoffs.
I do.
I really do.
Because that guy has been nothing but loyal to that team, and they just screwed him. And you're like, yeah, fuck you.
All right.
All right, let's move on.
Moving on, we have the Indianapolis Colts, the number 1 team, against the number 1 team in their division. They're both tied.
So this is a team.
This is for first place today.
So it's kind of a tale of two teams here. You have
Gardner Minshew.
You have the Jags. I know you have the Jags, who have underperformed,
except for the last 2 games.
Yeah, and then you have the Colts, who have kind of played to expectations, but I want to say
the defense has played better, and that is correct.
More better.
They've played better than they did last year.
Much better.
No, more better. It's accurate. That is the correct way to speak that.
I like the Colts in this game with Minshew. If Minshew can hold on to the ball and take care of it, I like the
Josh
Colts.
Downs is looking up.
Josh Downs is
looking up.
You know who really loves Josh Downs?
Gardner Minshew. He likes Alec Pierce too.
Yeah, so I would not play Pittman. I
disagree. I think you have to play Pittman because he's the number 1 receiver on that team. Like, you have to play Pittman.
Do you play Mo Alley Cox?
No.
I just really want to say Mo Alley Cox.
I'm sure you did. Ridiculous. No, I like Himes and Taylor. I'm playing both. Starting them both.
Moss and Taylor.
Himes was, you're right.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, Zach Moss and Taylor. I'm starting both. And you have to start ETN. Yep. Right, because ETN's the number 1 running back in scrimmage yards this year.
You start almost everybody on these offenses for.
Do you start Christian Kirk?
Yeah, I start Kirk. I start Ridley. I start Evan Ingram.
That's everybody in my mind.
Zay Jones maybe.
I'm not starting Zay Jones.
He hasn't shown up this year.
Not starting Zay Jones. I'm not starting.
Calvin Ridley is the Zay Jones of last year.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't expect Zay Jones to be Zay Jones. No, they expected Calvin Ridley to be him. That's why they said we'll sit on him for a year. I like Josh Downs. I like Pittman. I love Alec Pierce.
I do too.
And I like Alec Pierce with Minshew, because one of the things Minshew's not afraid to do is sling it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Anthony Richardson did sling it, and he just couldn't hit him downfield.
That was our biggest gripe on Richardson.
Downfield accuracy.
Hitting him
actually 100% agree with that.
You can't stop and go as quickly in the NFL as you can in the NCAA. You're going to get picked.
Yeah, so I actually agree with that, because that was my biggest gripe on Richardson, was his downfield accuracy.
He's looked good. It's nothing against him. Again, he's dealing with his second or third injury so far this year in 5 games.
And by the way, he's on the IR. He's out for at least 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think
he's got a Deshaun Watson injury.
AC joint. It's not a It's no, it was a rotator cuff.
No, it was AC joint.
Yeah, so
it's just funny because Deshaun Watson has a internal bruise in the AC joint, essentially, because it's inside. Yeah. And everybody's like, you should play.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. All right. So JT's going to get more carries this week than Zach Moss.
It's ramping up.
But I still see a 60-40 split. I still see a 60-40 JT.
So this is where I have a question for you. They pay JT. Your rookie quarterback is out. Are you going to keep running JT 20, 30 times a game?
Yeah,
no,
so you're going to run both 20 times
exactly.
a game. You're going to probably, let's just say you have 65 offensive plays. 30 of those are going to be, 30 of those are going to be passing.
Okay.
The other 35 are going to be split up between your running backs, whether it be a check down or a rushing attempt.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're going to keep throwing JT out there if they know this with Richardson out, and I think Minshew's going to play well.
I disagree.
I don't know.
They did that last year. I don't think they're going to do that again this year.
Now that he's paid.
Yeah, and you're in first place if you win this game.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So if they win, it's a different story. 100%.
We can talk next week, right?
Yeah.
Next week we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But this week, if they have to win this game.
Do I start Moss over Madison?
Yes. I would still start Zach Moss over Alexander Madison.
Okay.
Mainly because we just don't like the running backs in Chicago right this week. So, I mean, that's a hard one.
It is, right? He's my running back 3. Moss is. I'm in a best situation.
If Moss is your RB3, I'd take it.
Okay.
If I would start him as your RB3? You're starting him as your RB3?
It's Jacobs, Madison, Moss. I have to start 2 running backs.
I'd start Moss.
Okay.
Because I like the touchdown upside.
And the passing.
Yeah. Madison doesn't get it. And especially since Cam Akers last week. Dude, I think Cam Akers on the field like 35 to 40% of the time.
Mm-hmm. I got to see what he did. I got to see what Gardner did with Moss.
Same thing. Moss's game didn't change that week. Moving. So who do we have winning this game? Who do we want to win?
I want to say the Colts, but I have the Jags.
We both want to say the Colts too.
I like funny. Minshew. I've loved him. This is his own team, man. You got to remember, he was drafted in the 7th round by Jacksonville.
Oh, so you're saying this is an in-your-face game for Minshew?
It might be. It's drafted 2018.
I'm going to say Jacksonville. I'm going to say the way Jacksonville's bounced back and looked the last few games.
So you view Jacksonville as I view Cincinnati.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and that's what they weren't doing week 1 and 2.
Doug Peterson, I think, has pulled the reins back.
Well, and I also
let's get control back.
I also personally have an issue. I think that the first 3 weeks, and me and you have talked about this, was preseason.
So that's the entire NFL, I feel like.
Right.
Because you got to remember, they don't play much preseason, and we always say for fantasy, a lot of guys just either drop or trade guys. Everybody wanted Jamar Chase for cheap. I was holding Jamar, I was holding Burrow, and it worked out last year. I think it's going to continue to work.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with this team. And the last 3 games, they've increasingly looked better and better and better each week. So I'm gonna say
they're hitting their stride.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I'll take Jacksonville in this game, 24-21.
I like that score. I think Minshew's gonna have a late turnover, and that's gonna be the game changer.
And Minshew is not. That's my issue with Minshew.
Minshew's not bad.
That's my issue with Minshew. He is very gutsy with the ball,
and
he does turn over it.
Yeah, and so I think he's gonna have an interception late with. But I do
like the mentality of like, you drafted this guy over me, and I'm playing him. I'm better. Minshew over Trevor Lawrence. I'll take Minshew to have a better. I'll take Minshew to have a better stat line than T-Law today.
Not to talk about the Browns,
but that's our next. Nope, we got 2 games. I'm holding it off.
Minshew and Baker had very similar seasons their rookie years.
Oh, he wanted to talk about Baker. That's all he wanted to do.
I love both guys. So
going on this game, 0-5 Carolina Panthers are going into a 4-1 Miami Dolphins.
Do they get their first win?
Does Carolina, who has a mediocre defense and a 32nd overall offense, beat the mediocre defense Miami Dolphins, actually bottom 30 Dolphins defense with the number 1 overall offense?
I think this is a huge Raheem Mostert Waddle game.
Mostert's predicted 17 points since Achan's out.
Mostert may get 50.
Yeah.
Start Ahmed, not Jeff Wilson Jr. Ahmed's going to be the second back.
Jeff Wilson's is even alive.
I don't know. A lot of people. I like.
He just disappeared.
He was with the Niners few.
No, he was. So last year, Jeff Wilson was like the second running back in Miami.
Yeah,
and he just disappeared this year.
He did the same thing with the Niners when they had Mitchell.
Weird.
Or maybe it was Trey Sermon.
But to be honest with you, I'd say bulk of these carries are Mostert's.
Yeah, bulk of these carries are Mostert. I can see them using Ahmed more of a third down guy possibly.
I'm not sure.
Third and short maybe.
But here's what I will say. I like Waddle in this game. I like Tyreek in this set.
Oh yeah, Tyreek.
I think me and you have had this conversation to where the run game was good at the beginning.
I don't want to say carrying, but they're taking some
burden off the wide
offense.
receiver game. And I think what's going to happen this game is I agree with you. Miami's going to go up by 3 scores, and then it's going to be a Mostert game.
Yeah.
So I think that if I had to predict this game, I'm going to say 28. We'll go 35 Miami, 17 Carolina.
Let's look at the...
Miami's predicted 14 points. They're in favor. 14.5 is the spread. 47.5 is the over-under.
Weathers looks great. 84 and
it's beautiful.
Funny. So
yeah.
So Bryce Young had a good fantasy game last week. That's because he had a lot of points in garbage time. I don't take that into fruition.
Well, that's why
I
gave him 17 points.
Yeah, he's gonna have 1 touchdown, 1 turnover, and maybe 160 yards.
Yeah, and he might get sacked 5 times.
Yeah,
that's the biggest issue with him.
It's just I think Jalen Phillips is gonna be in his face a lot.
Bradley Chubb.
Yep. Jalen Phillips is what? They're left outside or right outside? Or is it just, we'll just say outside linebacker?
I think he's an outside linebacker. But who do you have in this game? Because like I said, I said 35-17.
I got Miami by like 14.
So I had him plus 14.
Yeah,
so.
I have 28-14.
Oh, so you have him on the under because it's Miami's cut to cover. It's 15 points.
I think this is where they're gonna, they'll get up.
So you would take Carolina in this game on the points?
Are they? They're getting 15.
They're getting 14.5.
So much.
14.5. So you have to win by 15. I have them winning by 18.
Watch them go for 2 late, like the Rams kicked the field goal to cover. There's going to be some fishiness in this game.
So what he's saying is don't bet on this game.
Don't bet on this game.
Don't bet on this game.
Don't listen to me. Not this game. All right.
Yeah, that's sad. All right, here we go. Last 1 o'clock game. It is probably the game of the week in most people's minds. It is the number 1 defense against the number 2 defense in the NFL. And this arguably, and a lot of people hate me for this take, I still like the Browns in this game.
I don't.
24-21 Browns. And there's a reason for this. It's because I think that they struggle against running quarterbacks.
So, also, just to remind everybody, DTR is not starting. PJ Walker is starting. And PJ Walker has been getting the first team reps since the loss to Baltimore.
Right. So it's been 14 days. It's been 14 days. Yeah.
Through the bye, he has got, you got to remember, so DTR had almost no first team reps. That was a game time decision. I think he had 1 day of first team reps. PJ Walker has had 2 weeks.
And I think the issue with DTR or PJ Walker is turnovers.
Yes.
But this is not a team that I'm worried about turnovers with unless you fumble the ball.
Yes.
Because their secondary is mediocre. God bless you.
Fuck you.
You're welcome. So I like PJ Walker in this game. I do like Amari Cooper in this game. Field's going to be wet.
It's gonna be a ground and pound game.
Yeah.
This is when I think they're gonna. You remember the
if they can't stop CMC,
yeah,
we lose this game.
You remember the Blizzard game last year against the Saints? I think it was.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of gonna be what it is.
So you think we're gonna lose
it's gonna 12, be like a Cincinnati
12 to 10?
I think it's gonna be like a Cincinnati game. Neither Brock Purdy has played well, but I haven't seen him play in rain this year, and weather.
I haven't.
Odd because it rains a lot in the Bay, and it hasn't rained for any of their home games.
I have not seen Brock Purdy play a secondary this good yet.
Do you think 2 picks? I think 2 picks.
I would love to hope that the Browns turn into the number 1 defense today. They've had 2 weeks. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for Brock Purdy.
This would be the game they do it because Jim Schwartz is going to be on their throats, saying, "All right, you know what? Deshaun Watson's out. We need to win this game. We need."
By the way,
this is a must
this is a start CMC, start Kittle game.
100%. I would sit Debo.
Yeah, this is a start CMC, start Kittle.
I like
Ayuk might struggle,
but he'll show up.
but I think he'll show up.
Debo has been
Debo could be the X factor in this game, though. If they use him out of the backfield, Debo could be the X factor in this game.
But Debo's he's a boom bust guy this year, I feel like, you know?
But I will say, what was it? Who do we play where they...
Njoku is playing, by the way.
They started... I think they started most of their plays at -3 yards, and we kept them at -3 yards. Was it... It was
Tennessee.
Steelers.
It was Tennessee.
Was it? Yeah, it was Tennessee. You're right. So they had a lot of screen plays and even Steelers too. I think both. And our contact was almost immediate.
Yeah.
And I think the only way Debo can get is if they run the jet sweeps.
The jet sweeps.
But then again, you're talking JOK has been all over those. So the Browns are matched up perfect for this team.
This is a game of defense. This is who's going to be top tier.
Which is why I had a hard time saying that score, right?
Yeah,
like, because that's 24-21 is high.
I just, the more I think about this game and the more that everybody's writing off Cleveland, and I know
San Fran's favored by 9.
San Fran's favored by 9.
They did beat up Dallas, though.
Dallas is awful.
Ever since Trayvon Diggs has not been there, Dallas has given up like 3 times as many points.
So I think this is going to be another ground and pound game, like Cincinnati weather game.
Let me do some math for you really quick, right? So San Fran's I think it just went up. San Fran's favored by 9.5.
Okay.
The spread is 35.5. So that means 26 points to...
Now you're looking at 24 points.
The 24 points?
Yeah, to 33, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just... If you minus 9, it's 26.
Okay.
So if they score 26...
You got to keep them.
I'm trying to, like, how do you hit 35.5?
You don't touch
with a 9 point.
You don't touch that line.
With a 9.5 point spread.
That makes no sense. That's such a weird spread.
That's a very high spread for a very low over under.
That's what I'm saying. So the over under.
It sounds like they're saying like 21-10.
Yeah, they're saying that it's gonna be a blowout.
Because 21-14. Because so it'd be 24-10.
24-10.
20, yeah, it'd be 24-10.
Pretty much is what they're saying. I stay away from this game. Player prop.
24-14 doesn't cover the spread. Oh, no, it does. That's 10 points. So 24-14, it'd be over, though. Yeah, 24-14 would be the over. It'd be 38 points.
The CMC get a touchdown.
Yes. I love Kittle and I love CMC in this game. And the only way for the Browns to win is to stop CMC.
So you got to hold this team under 20.
Yeah. I think you have to hold. So 3 keys, right? 3 keys to victory for the Browns.
The 3 keys are hold CMC to under 80 yards.
Eliminate turnovers,
and you got to keep them under 20. Yeah, I think you're going to sell out to the run and hope JOK. I would sit JOK with Kittle. I think he's big enough that he can run with Kittle. And
I agree.
Give him disruption.
I agree. But big factor, eliminate turnovers. Yep. If you turn over the ball against the number 1 defense in the league, you're going to lose.
This is not going to lose. We're not going to air it out. I'm telling you. It's going to be short, like 5-6 slants, you know.
Oh, bullshit. We're going to air it out just like we did with DTR. Throw the ball 40 times a game.
That was a sellout game for fucking Stefanski.
What was your score?
I don't want to say. I don't know. This is such a hard
You got
game.
San Fran in this game?
No, because I cannot not take the Browns.
All right, so don't believe us in this game.
Yeah,
we both are playing the homer line. Yep. If I were anybody and I'm not a Browns fan, I would say probably 27-10 San Francisco. That's probably what most people would say for this game.
With the weather, I'd stay away from this game.
Well, CMC it's not going to hurt him. That's why I like
hurt his
CMC.
ankle.
That's why I like Kittle and CMC in this game.
I think CMC gets hurt in this game.
It's possible. All right, moving on to the 4 o'clock games. Let's get into them. We have, as I screw this up, we have the New England Patriots going up against the Raiders. Malik Cunningham is supposed to be the starting quarterback today for the Patriots, and Mac Jones is supposed to be benched.
Yeah. So let me just say
And
this.
Jimmy G is supposed to be healthy. Devontae Adams, I think, is playing today.
Yep.
You have Jacoby Myers playing, Josh Jacobs playing, and then
Michael Mayer.
Well, Michael Mayer's been playing. He just doesn't get the high snap count
I think he needs to. I think
because they still have Amari Hooper.
Or Austin Hooper. Amari Hooper.
I used to call him Amari Hooper when he was on the Browns.
Just real quick, I think everybody is freaking out about Malik Cunningham getting a contract. Guess what? He was an undrafted free agent on the practice squad. This is what they do with undrafted free agents when they sign them to the team. This is nothing new.
Everybody gets
It's been done
contracts.
multiple times. I believe it's a 2-year deal, so you can. And that way they don't have to, let's say he goes off, that way they don't have to deal with it next year. They're signing him to a 2-year deal. They do this all the time. People just don't realize it because they don't read into it and they go at the media's face value. And this is what we're seeing.
Right.
I have Oakland winning this by
Las Vegas.
14. Las Vegas winning by 14. I think this is going to be
Las Vegas
blowout.
always wins, by the way.
This is going to be another blowout.
Vegas always wins.
Yes, they do. This is going to be another blowout. I have
So obviously start
28.
Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a must start him in this game, I think.
100% Josh Jacobs.
Because to be honest, the one thing that Bill Belichick is going to attempt to take away on defense is going to be Devontae Adams.
And if you look last year, week 5 of last year is when Jacobs showed up. The last 2 weeks, Jacobs has showed up.
Yeah, I mean, and but he's showing up in the passing game this year, which is very weird. So I like Jacobs in this game. I like Jacoby Myers in this game. Devontae Adams probably going to put up a touchdown, 80 yards.
Yeah.
You're going to try to stop Devontae, but I don't think they have the pieces.
No.
I don't think the Patriots literally have any team at this point. Offensive line's injured. I expect 2 sacks out of
I don't start Stevenson.
Max Crosby. I expect 2 sacks out of Max Crosby. You're starting against a day 1 guy. It could be a plus because you have no film on him, but it's usually a super negative game 1 when you're going up against a decent front.
This kid's going to be running a lot, I have a feeling. They're going to utilize him as a runner.
I like Malik Cunningham, though, but I just don't like him.
He went to Louisville, right?
I think so.
Or was it Liberty?
No, that was Malik Willis.
Oh, Malik Willis, yeah.
Liberty, 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 liberty. All right, what do you got in this? What was your score? What was your score in this game?
28-14.
Las Vegas is only favored by 2.5. I'd take Las Vegas in this game.
What do I say? If it's less than a field goal, you take the home team.
All right, and you say what? 28-14? All right. My, you got 2 touchdowns for New England. They got shut out last week for like the first time in like history.
It's going to be a defensive touchdown. Defensive touchdown and special teams touchdown.
Oh my God.
First score I have.
I'll take 28. I'll take 28-10. 28-10. I'll take 28-10 Las Vegas.
Okay.
Let's move
he's
on.
going up against his old OC too.
Let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams.
So this is a big.
LA's winning this game.
This is a big game for LA. They
have to win this game.
This is when we're going to see the real Cardinals, and I think they're going to pull back.
Pull back. I don't think they have an answer for Cooper. I don't think they have an answer for Cooper Kupp and
Puka Nacua. I think, but Budda Baker's out still too.
Is he? Yeah. So if that's the case, let me look at it real quick.
I think Budda Baker's out. You have Joshua Dobbs, who is starting again under center. You still have the questions with
the Rams are favored by 7 points
at home.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow, that's it.
I mean, that's pretty good considering the way they've played all year.
That's just a weird line though. That makes it.
Why is it everything's a weird line to you anymore?
That one doesn't make sense to me though because it should be like
Budda Baker's out.
10. It should be 10 because James Conner is a big loss to that team.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I
thought Marquise Brown was out too.
I don't see him on the injury report. No, I don't see him on the injury.
He's playing. Yeah, he had never mind. I'm sorry, illness. He was questionable all week. He had an illness, flu or something, so he's playing. I don't know if I think that'll affect him. So I wouldn't be expecting, the
What happened to the rookie tight end last year?
Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is the
Yeah, but they got Jeff Swaim as their second tight
Trey
end.
hurt? Trey might be hurt.
I don't see him on the injuries.
Then he just fell off the face of the earth, I guess.
That's weird, bro. Yeah, they got, according to covers.
Oh, no.
What are you seeing?
Mac Jones starting this week.
Is he? Did that just get announced? All right, go back to that Patriots game, and Mac Jones is starting this week.
I gotta double check this. That was on Twitter. Let me cross-reference this stuff real quick.
All right. But when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals, I don't see Trey McBride on the injury report. Jeff Swaim is their second tight end. Marquise Brown is.
Yep, he is expected to start. And will be on a short lease.
Okay, so he could get pulled again for the third time this year.
I think you need to start Zappy. Or Zap, however you want to say his name. Start the kid. Mac Jones has not been it. He has not been it since last year late. He has not been it this year. What do you have to lose at this point? You are 1-4 in that division. You're not winning that division. See what you have in your other your other quarterbacks. Worst comes to worst, you draft early. You take a guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Drake May Bonex is who I could see definitely going to the Patriots. Or you know what? Maybe Kirk in the offseason.
I don't think he wants a veteran. He wants a rookie to figure out.
Bill Belichick is just such a... We'll talk about the coaching.
I'm just trying to find Trey McBride's... What's going on with him?
I think he fell off the face.
5 games. I only started 2 games, 8 receptions for 80 yards. Is there an injury?
He hasn't done anything.
I mean, he 8 receptions for 80 yards. That's pretty good. But he's only started 2 games, and then they started Swaim. I've got nothing. I've got nothing on him. I got nothing on him. That's kind of weird.
He had 2 catches last week.
So he's just not starting. They got Swaim starting. That's it. So
he's played. He's gotten points in every game.
Yeah, he's just not starting. Let's not. I'm not saying a lot on him. Obviously,
he gets 1 to 2 receptions a week.
And that's on Josh Dobbs. Like, they don't really hit the tight ends. It's just Mike Wilson, Marquise Brown.
Yeah,
it's really what it is. But to be honest with you, I don't like anybody in that offense outside of Marquise Brown.
No, I'm starting Marquise Brown.
That's it. I'm starting Marquise Brown. That's it. And they're gonna have to sling it. So I kind of like Mike Wilson because they're gonna have to sling it because the Rams are gonna go up. I got this game. This is gonna be a Rams. Everybody's gonna go. They're here. Rams 35-13 Rams.
I could definitely see it. All right, that's who I have. I like that score. I like the blowout.
All right, moving on. Ooh, game of the week or game of the week? Which one?
Do the real game of the week that we like.
All right. Detroit versus Tampa Bay. This is in Tampa Bay. Detroit is slightly favored.
Coming off a bye.
Tampa Bay's coming off a bye week.
You're at home. Baker has been quiet.
And Detroit's
produced.
only favored by 3. Where's the spread game?
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, like I said, if it's by 3, you take the home team.
I actually like Tampa Bay's defense better than
Detroit's. Detroit. Let's hear your side real quick.
All right, so I like Tampa Bay's defense better than Detroit's. I like Mike Evans off 3 weeks. I mean, essentially 2.5 weeks-ish coming out from the injury. Mike Evans is going to put up 140 yards today on 7 receptions. Yeah. I see a touchdown.
That's a safety valve. That's Baker's safety
valve. I see a touchdown by Mike Evans. I see a touchdown by Rashad White. I see a touchdown by Baker Mayfield rushing.
Okay.
And then I see 2 field goals. So that's putting me, 20? Let's just say 28 Tampa Bay. I see, is Sam Laporta in today? I think Laporta's in. He's just been dealing with an ankle injury all week.
I thought it was ribs, but you might be right.
I see Laporta.
Laporta's questionable.
I think he's in.
Trending in the right direction.
Yeah, him and Amon-Ra are in. I'll put Amon-Ra at a touchdown. I'll put Laporta at a touchdown.
I would sit Jim.
And then I'll say 3 field goals. So that's 9, 14, looking at 23. So 28-23 Tampa Bay.
Okay. So I like Detroit in this game. I start David Montgomery.
28-23. The over-under is 42.5.
I start David Montgomery.
I'm at 21.
I start
They're
both
41.
I start both these quarterbacks. I start Amon-Ra.
So can I give you a rebuttal on the Monty thing?
Yeah.
I don't
Just
like
'cause he's the
Montgomery
only
because
running
there
back.
is no change of pace,
Okay.
and they do have a good front in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
They are good against the run, so that's why I don't like Monty. He can get a touchdown. I just don't like him in this game.
Okay.
That's the only reason why they don't. I don't think they're going to have a run game this week. That's my point. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I don't like JMO this game. I don't think there's much chemistry there because, again, he was suspended, so he didn't get a lot of reps with.
He might have
With
2
Goff.
receptions for
Yeah.
60 yards. He's
lot
a
of
big
people-
play
A lot
guy.
of people are saying that Amon-Ra was going to lose his job to this guy. He's not. Amon-Ra is a third-round draft pick who showed up and who has shown up since his rookie year. He is not in jeopardy. He is the number one wide receiver on this team for a reason, and he's not going anywhere. JMO is your vert guy. He's a good route runner as well, but he's your vert guy.
How do you feel about Josh Reynolds in this game?
I like Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds has played well.
I had great chemistry with Jared Goff.
He's another guy who has played well.
Don't they have like a 10-year together? Weren't they in?
Yeah, I believe.
They were back in L.A. together, I think, too.
I think it was when they were in St. Louis, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what I meant.
I love messing with you. But yeah, I like Detroit in this game a lot. I mean, it's nothing against Baker. I think I would start both these quarterbacks 100%. No doubt in my mind. My biggest concern for Detroit, like you said now, is the running game. And so if Laporta's out, I do not like Detroit because Laporta adds another element for that for that offense, especially with Jared Goff. I think it helps him. He loves his tight ends. He liked his tight ends in LA. He liked Hawk until they traded him, but I believe Hawk wanted out. So I think it's going to be about a field goal game. I like that. I think it's going to be like 31-28. I don't take the line. I take the straight bet. I would take Detroit straight.
I like it. This is one of the games that we're different on.
Yeah, I'm going against my usual judgment of a field goal or less you take the home team.
That's just funny. This is one of the games that I think me and you were a little slightly different on.
Yeah.
This kind of. All right, moving on to the actual game of the week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are going into New York, who has played very well,
And
like
probably
as
have
of late.
That's the second best defense in the
Well,
AFC?
so it's arguable.
Or AFC?
No.
Or do you think they have
They-
the best defense in the AFC?
Okay, so Philly
remember
is
Cleveland.
Philly's the second best defense in the NFC.
I think the Jets are the second best in the
I
AFC.
think the Jets might be the third best in the AFC.
Behind Cleveland and
Buffalo. I think.
Okay.
That's
close.
And
And they don't have Vaughn yet, Buffalo.
they don't have what?
They don't have Vaughn
Yeah, they
yet.
got him back last week, I thought.
Oh, do they? Okay.
I thought so.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He did play some snaps.
Yeah. So, but this is my upset of the week. Every champion has to fall at some point. They're 5-0.
I hate Philly. I hate the city.
This could
I
be
just don't like them.
this could be the week that both undefeated teams, in my mind, take
Lose.
their first L. I like the Jets because I think the defense is so good that Jalen's going to have to make something happen and show he's a top 10 quarterback.
Do you think this is a, hey, NFL, we know we screwed you, the Jets, but here's a win?
No. I if anything, I think the refs are in favor of Philly.
Okay.
I think the Jets have something to overcome there. But Jalen Hurts has turned the ball over a lot, and against a Jets defense, you're going to have a hard time. This Jets defense might score two defensive touchdowns.
They could definitely score two defensive touchdowns because Jalen Hurts has turned over the ball a lot.
Yeah. So I like the Jets in this game, and I'm going to say 18-15 Jets. Weird numbers.
That is weird. That's a weird one. I like
I see a safety.
I like Philly in this game, but I think it's Philly by a late field goal by who's their kicker? Jake Elliott. That's how I think the Philly wins the late.
Philly's favored by 6.5.
They should be 3-2. Sadly, the Jets.
Well, let's not get. You always have to go back to the
because
Kansas City Chiefs game.
Fucking cheat, and it pisses me off.
All right. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers is looking in a month.
We did say that he would be back by week 10.
He's walking already without crutches.
And we said he would be possibly back by week 10.
So he's looking like a month away. So that is great.
Watch
if
this.
all the Jets have to do is stay afloat.
Watch this was all a ploy just so the Jets didn't have to give up a first-round pick.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. That's
Could you imagine just, my hamstring, all back. Let's go, boys.
I would have made the bets on the play. I would have made the bets on him making the playoffs. I wouldn't have made the bets anywhere else outside of him making the playoffs. Yeah. That's where I would have made that what do they
the draft pick bet?
Well, it's what's it called when you trade something and it's a possible higher pick.
Oh yeah.
Conditional.
Yeah. Conditional.
I would have traded. The conditions would have been if you make the playoffs, we get a first. You know what? They probably don't want to do that because then you get a lower pick.
Is this the night game, the 8:20 game?
No. We have one more game. But first things first, do you start A.J. Brown?
I start A.J. Brown. I start Devontae.
Devontae Smith had 1.7 points last week in PPR.
You know what? I think this is the opposite. I think this is Devontae Smith, Dallas. That's because they involved Dallas.
Dallas Goedert. And you know what's funny? We said that last week. We said that they're going to get Dallas Goedert involved in this offense.
That's where you have these issues is because when
there's 3 weapons.
And you have a lot of mouths to feed, and they're all going to talk.
DeAndre Swift didn't look...
Remember that after the A.J. Brown got pissed in primetime when Devontae Smith had his big game, then A.J. Brown had a big game.
The following week, yeah.
So I think it's try to keep everybody happy, but it's hard. It's hard. That's what a lot of guys don't understand about...
When DeAndre Swift had a mediocre game, it wasn't a great game.
Yep.
So if I had to say anything, maybe DeAndre Swift looking good in the screen game today.
Yeah.
I liked Devonta Smith.
I like Breece Hall a lot in this game.
I agree. I agree.
think this is a Breece Hall.
Garrett
Wilson game.
I think they're going to have a hard time stopping Breece based on what he did last week.
I could see Tyler Conklin getting a touchdown.
I love Conklin. So just an FYI, if you guys aren't paying attention to the Zach Wilson-Conklin chemistry, there is a chemistry between those two, and that is his safety valve. It is Tyler Conklin.
A lot of tight ends are guys' safety valve because they create a little bit more separation off the line.
Well, they're big body guys, too.
It's harder not to hit them.
Yep. Yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to say. And I know, they're always saying...
I still like Garrett Wilson because he's building a chemistry with Zach Wilson right now.
It's just going to take some time.
Yep.
It is. But... Breece Hall, they're opening up the playbook for the kid.
To be honest, Zach Wilson, if he just keeps protecting the turnovers, which is what he has been doing, they'll be fine. Now, I will say in your favor, Zach Wilson is going to be running for his life today.
Yes. You have Jordan Davis. You have
Jalen Carter, who's a top 5 D tackle.
Davis.
You've got
who's the guy from Atlanta from a couple years back? Not Atlanta, Arizona.
Smith? Zadarius? No, that's our guy.
Darius.
Hendrick. Reddick.
Hassan Reddick. But he has...
It was like in my head. I was like,
He struggled a bit this year so far.
He's not bad.
He's not anywhere near
but he's going up against a bad O-line. He's going up against a very bad O-line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was our biggest concern going into the season this year.
I hit my nose. Yeah, so that's my issue with Zach Wilson is that he's going to be running for his life, but he's shown that he's getting better week in and week out. So
both in the locker room and on the field.
Yep. So I'm taking the upset. Don't trust anything I say in this game. I like the upset this week on both 5-0 teams. And to be honest with you, if you pay attention to the way I pick, I will probably take the underdog in the undefeated game every week.
As much as I hate Philly, I got to take Philly late touchdown or late field goal to win.
I'm also a Miami fan, so I don't like to see undefeated teams go this far into the season. It's never happened before.
Once.
Only happened once, and Miami's the only team to ever do it and win a Super Bowl.
They're probably the only team to ever do it.
Well, Patriots tried. Then they lost to the Giants.
Baby.
Then they lost to the Giants. All right, moving on to the primetime game of the week. You have Sunday Night Football. The New York Giants going into Buffalo and playing some football, baby. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter. Danny Dimes is out with a neck injury. This could be a 3-week issue, so pay attention to this. I guess he was dealing with a stinger in his neck last year. But this one sounds a little bit worse.
And he has previous neck injuries.
We don't know as of right now. Saquon is likely, but questionable still.
Shaquan.
So I think if no Saquon and no Daniel Jones,
I think this is a Darren Waller game.
I agree with that. I think Tyrod has played on every team in the NFL.
He's a journeyman.
He also played for Buffalo, so he knows some of the offense.
He's played for Buffalo. He's played for Cleveland. He's played for the Giants. The Chargers.
Did he play for Denver?
No.
No, that was
The funny thing is he has kind of played right before a quarterback has taken over, though. Did the Giants have any quarterbacks on that team that haven't played well or haven't played?
Who?
Well, he played in front of Josh Allen. Josh Allen started. He played in front of Baker. Then Baker. He played in front of Herbert. Then he got stabbed in the chest by the medical doctor. This guy is just bad luck, but he's in the NFL, so I mean, he's making money. He did. He had a punctured lung.
I know.
Like, how does that happen? You're an NFL
I forgot
doctor,
dude,
bro.
I forgot all about that. Dude, that's crazy. Do you like the upset in this game?
No. As much as I want to.
If Saquon's playing.
If Saquon's playing, yes, I like the upset. Because Buffalo struggled last week.
Okay, so let's go back to the London game because it's going off right now.
They just started.
The Ravens were in town in London for about a week.
Yeah,
and the Tennessee Titans had just pulled up there Thursday night or Friday.
I think it's going to be similar to how the Jags, because the Jags stayed there from last week or 2 weeks back.
So I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to say Buffalo hits it off hot. I'm going to say Josh Allen throws for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushes for 1. He has a great day today.
I hope so. I think he will. It's just
Giants defense is bad. It's bad.
They are.
It's
bad.
Not that the offense is bad with Tyrod at the helm.
They need to involve James Cook more. You need to take some. You need to take some more off of Allen because they didn't do that last week, and you saw what happened.
Well, I think if they go up by 3 scores, they will.
I think if you go up by 10, you will because you know you can baby this game.
You could just run out the clock the whole game.
I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to get by 10. You're going to run James Cook. You're going to baby him.
All right,
baby this offense.
What is your score in this game? I'm going to say.
I'm going to say 27-7. It's an ugly game.
I like that. I was going to say 28-10. I was going to say 28-10, so I like that.
Why do they keep putting the Giants in primetime? Daniel Jones has been awful.
Well, because he got that contract, so everybody assued that based on last year, they were going to be a good team this year.
This is just an ugly game to watch. I'd rather watch the Detroit-Tampa game on Sunday night. By a million. By a million, I would rather.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody thought Tampa was going to be good.
No, but
outside of me and you.
Nobody really said that Detroit was going to be good except for me and you.
Well, no, I think no. I think the fan base.
I did say they were going to win the division.
I think the fan base thought Detroit was going to be good. I think that the NFL did not want Detroit to be good.
So I've always been a Browns fan, but the older I get and more I watch the NFL, I grapple on the players that I like. Jared Goff, when he got traded from the Rams, I fell in love with him. Amon-Ra.
Buffalo's favored by 14.5. Just an FYI.
That's a lot.
That's a big spread.
That's a lot. Huge run by, was that Gus Edwards?
Duvernay? Nelson Aguilar. All right. Like I said, I like 28-10 this game, so we both have them covering. We both have them covering the spread. So
yeah.
That'll be it for us today. We will jump here. I will be here tomorrow. You're here tomorrow, right?
Yep, I'm here tomorrow. On Thursday, we're going to talk about our top 5, or do you want to do 10?
We're going to try to jump into the coaches. Just an FYI, this will give you guys something to think about this week.
This is not us. This is
Fox
NFL,
Sports,
or
Fox NFL. This is their top 10 head coach rankings. We are going to get into this on Thursday. You guys can come at us and let us know what you think about this.
Yeah, let's do top 5. Let's do our top 5.
I mean, I'll just break apart this list and I'll put it. We'll actually. Here's what we'll do. We'll do top 10. Me and you will have our list. We'll compare it to the Fox and we'll see how it is. So, and then we'll see how we're doing. And to be honest, this is a garbage list.
And we're just an FYI. This is top 10 coaches for this season. Correct? Yep. Not all time.
This is for this year. Yep.
Okay, good. I just wanted to put that out there. That way, nobody was kind of. Because our list is going to be very, very different. I'm just going to say right now. I have Dan Campbell as a top 5 head coach.
That's your choice.
That's the truth.
That is your choice. All right.
I said what I said.
That is it. And he likes to end the show on shit like that. I appreciate it.
I posted on the Facebook page.
Oh, no. I am following too.
I
That's
posted
crazy.
on the Facebook page.
All right. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. Please. We would really appreciate that. Also, share us if you guys can. We are looking forward to talking more football. And if you guys could please chat, it boosts us in the algorithm and we can get out to a few more people out there. And we're trying to get out there.
We're trying. We're here for you. We're here for you.
You have Wheels as always with the hot takes.
I try. That's why my name's Wheels Hot.
Eventually, I'm just going to create like a flame above his head and just Wheels on fire. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.
Later.